Today I'm going to show you how to get a mirror finish on aluminum. Really nice. Look at that. Just like a mirror, guys. That's looking sweet. Hey, how's it going? And today I'm going to show you how to get a perfect mirror finish on anything that's aluminum. So this thing definitely needs work. It has zero shine to it, and it is dull, gross, and just made this from complete scratch. If you haven't seen that episode, definitely check it up. I got the link right up here. So first things first, you need a buffer and you need a whole bunch of sandpaper. You can sand it all by hand. That's exactly what I'm gonna be doing today, except for orbital. I'm gonna be using an orbital for 2 steps. So the first step is 220. Second step is 320. Fourth step is 400. This is what I'm gonna be using by hand. Fifth step is gonna be 800. Sixth step is gonna be 1000, where it's gonna be basically like toilet paper. And final steps 2000. This is literally toilet paper. You can actually get toilet paper from the bathroom and use it. I will show you exactly how to do this, and don't be afraid to over sand it, because literally if you over sand it, you're probably gonna get things that you couldn't have seen, and there's a lot of stuff you probably can't see that you're sanding out. So sand probably twice as much as you would think, and that will help you with that mirror finish. Show you exactly what to do. Right there's a little bit of a ding there, so that is definitely gonna be a problem. And if I want a mirror finish, that can't be a ding, so I have to sand it out or fill it in with weld, but I'm definitely gonna sand it out. There's another one right there. So all that needs to be taken out, and there's a whole bunch of scratches and everything, right? So the first step is very, very important to get all the deep stuff out, and that's why we have a very aggressive grit. This is 220, so we're gonna get all that really coarse stuff out, and then once that's complete, we'll move on. So the first step, before I even put a piece of sandpaper onto my orbital, I'm going to put a pad on the orbital that is in between the sandpaper and the actual orbital. So I'm gonna place that on there. It's about an 1/8 inch thick. It makes a cushion in between the sandpaper and the orbital, so it makes it a lot more seamless of a sand, like evenly, especially on the flat surfaces. That really matters because you want to make it a mirror, right? So it's got to be true as you can possibly make it. So that is very important as well. It's the little things, guys. So I got my 220 on there and I'm ready to rock. I'm gonna start on the top and then go down the sides and the welds and just start giving her. All right, I've gone over everything once, and now it's time to look very closely. See how there's slight reflection right here, and there isn't over there and everything, and there's some spots that have no reflection and have some. That means I have not sanded enough, because this is a layer that needs to come off, and I have taken down where it's dull, but it's not taken down where it's actually glossy there. So I'm gonna have to do a lot more sanding. I just wanted to explain that if you see needing sanding, that is for sure. Over here, it's really bad. Like you can see all that, right? So you gotta really sand. See how shiny that is? Make sure it's all like this and not like that. All right, so I sanded everything with 220 and it's all scratched up, ready to go for the next step. And while I was at it, I smoothed out the visual welds. I honestly think it looks better. Didn't dig in that look, to be honest. It's looking pretty badass. So now I'm gonna go and do 320 over the whole thing again. And now it's gonna be a lot smoother of a transition between papers. This was about an hour of straight sanding. So now since it's all smooth, now I'm just scratching the scratches out with finer grit and multiplied multiple times, and eventually it will literally start shining without even buffing it. We'll get this thing looking amazing. So that is 320 and it's looking great. All you can see is a little bit of finger marks because of oil in my hands, just because that's how humans work. They have oil on them. and they have like real oil in my hands. But anywhoosie, it's time to actually sand by hand now. So I'm going to be doing this a lot. So I might as well just get used to it. So now I'm going to be doing 400 by hand, and let's do it. Awesome, so that is 400 grit, and it's looking pretty shiny now. So as you can see, it has some sort of a sheen to it, and it is looking pretty sexy. So I've got it all sanded. I try and go in one direction. So on the top I went this way, sides I went this way, and same with all over here. Did the best I possibly could with 400. So now I'm going to bump it up after I drop it a few times to 800. So it's gonna get shinier as we go here, and it is a little quicker. But again, make sure you're sanding it enough, because you don't want little scratches. You just want it to be perfect. Like, you just gotta see perfection, and then you can move on once you see that. And this is not perfect, but it's very close, and we'll get there. See, we're getting somewhere. So this is 800. It's looking sweet, and as we go, the more shiny she gets. So I'm covered in dust and dirt and grime, but I'm gonna keep going. Want to make this thing right, and I want to do it today. So I'm gonna be doing this with 1000 grit, doing the whole same process as you've seen. So that is 1000 grit, and things are starting to shine. It's got quite the sheen to it. It actually is starting to look sexy. It's got shine, it's got glow, it's got depth, everything you want. So I've got one more step. I'm going to do 2000 grit, and then I'm going to polish it, and I can't wait to see it, and I bet you can't either. And there you have it. It's got quite the reflection now. You can actually see the lights in the actual reflection now. It's got quite the sheen and depth. So this thing is ready. This is done with 2000 grit. And now I'm going to bolt it up to my jig, which is that engine. And I'm going to polish it. So what I'm going to use is, I'm going to use a brand new Simonized pad, and literally that's all I'm going to use this for, is this piece. And I'm going to add it with Mother's Meg aluminum polish, and this stuff is killer. Honestly, that is the good stuff. So the first thing I'm going to do is obnoxiously put my hand in this Mother's container, and then I'm going to evenly spread it out obnoxiously all over this intake. And then I'm going to wait until it dries a bit, and then I'm going to start buffing at a medium speed. So whatever buffer you have, set it at medium speed. If it has like numbers from 0 to 10, put it at 5 and go slow and be consistent. Imagine if you were trying to cut a tree. If you've ever cut a tree down, you just want to be consistent, smooth, and go back and forth. And that is the best way to cut a tree down. So that's the best way to buff a intake. Tie logic for you. This is the first pass. There's still compound on it obviously, but that's not bad for the first pass. And as you can probably tell already, it's not in the polishing, it's in the sanding. That took me 30 seconds to do. So I'm going to do it 2 or 3 more times, and it should literally look near perfect. This is the second time polishing. Starting to look a lot better. I haven't even cleaned the compound off yet. It's looking fresh. But yeah, underneath it's definitely shiny, that's for sure. So what I'm gonna do is do that one more time, and then I am completely done. Completely done. And there we have it. Perfect mirror finish. All polished up, really nice. Look at that, just like a mirror, guys. That's looking sweet. So you can do this too. All you need is some sandpaper and a buffer. Real talk though, like seriously, that's all you need. And you can make amazing things. Amazing things. That definitely turned out. I do prefer actually grinding the weld smooth. I might have problems down the road over here because on the back part of my intake, I actually only welded the outside. All the other welds have been welded from the inside and the outside. So I might actually have leaks back here, like once I actually get it in pressure. But I'm not 100% sure. Gonna have to see, but I honestly think they'll be fine. Worst case, I weld a little bit. It's not gonna be a big deal, but she looks sick. Little bit of hard work always will pay off, and definitely paid off today. Thing looks nasty, straight up. I'm so happy with that. Little bit of a before shot. There's a whole bunch of burns everywhere. Looking pretty nasty. So cold in the shop that literally all the water that's coming out, it's freezing and it's literally clogging my actual exhaust for the orbital. So I need to take the exhaust off.